Alright, finally we're at Sonic Adventure characters, and I told you all last time to guess who it would be. So this origin oracle is about
Gamma.
Just kidding, whoever guessed him was completely wrong. We're diving into the tragic backstory of Chaos, and on the other side of that coin, we have Tikal. The entire climax of Sonic Adventure is shaped around these two characters and their struggles that took place thousands of years prior. And before I continue, this series will be covering a few more Sonic characters like Rouge the Bat,
Oh shit!
Shadow the Hedgehog, and Cream the Rabbit, before I give the Sonic franchise a little bit of a break. I wanted to continue down the Mario rabbit hole and other franchises like Donkey Kong and Zelda, and while I know many of you are Sonic fans, I would be eternally grateful for your support for other characters, as I know I'm taking a little bit of a risk stepping out of my Sonic comfort zone. Thank you all so much for watching and supporting this series up to this point. I'm extremely pleased and grateful with the results. Anyway, on to the video. So Sonic Adventure is one of my favorite Sonic games of all time, released for the Sega Dreamcast in 1998 in Japan and 99 in the West. It took a different approach to previous Sonic games, with Sonic making a full transition to the 3D plane, while also focusing on story and exploration, and blending in action stages that felt natural to the Sonic series up to that point. The goal was to include elements from RPGs, complete with explorable hub worlds populated with NPCs that live their normal daily lives while Sonic and friends are dealing with a much larger threat. And seriously, if you haven't followed the NPC dialogue, some of it is actually more interesting than some of the character plotlines. My mom wandered, oh no, your mom has a gambling issue! So the game opens up with Sonic taking a vacation in the city of Station Square. Lively town complete with deadbeat parents, stalkers, a lovely resort, and a casino that throws you in the garbage if you don't win enough. Sonic's vacation is cut short when Dr. Eggman returns with his new method of world domination, Chaos, an apparent god of destruction who grows stronger by absorbing the power of the Chaos Emeralds. And as you play through the story, you learn more about where this beast came from, and the extent of his power. So to fully understand Chaos's origins, we have to go back over 3,000 years before the events of Sonic Adventure. Knuckles' ancestors have a fully fleshed out civilization, known as the Knuckles tribe, very creative Sega. It's heavily implied that they are peaceful people who are well versed on the Master Emerald, Chaos Emeralds, and the Guardian that protects it. Tikal is more or less the princess of this tribe, with her grandmother initially serving as the clan's chief before her passing, which gave leadership to Kamek, Tikal's father. And Chief Pac-Man here is a much less peaceful individual, hungry for both power and wars of conquest, so he turns the Knuckles tribe into a set of bloodthirsty warriors. And as you can imagine, the chief sets his eyes on the Chaos Emeralds and Master Emerald's power to help them wage wars against neighboring tribes. Tikal, on the other hand, wishes to preserve that sacred shrine that's home to the Emeralds and mysterious peaceful creatures known as Chao, protected by the spirit of water who would eventually become Chaos. Tikal befriends both the Chao and Chaos, vowing to do whatever she can to protect this sacred place. And it's heavily implied that Tikal spends a lot of time at the Master Emerald's altar, gaining the trust of its inhabitants while she continues to plead with her father to call off this planned hostile takeover. Being the complete boomer that he is though, Kamek ignores all this and leads a group of warriors to burn everything down and take the emeralds by force, seemingly killing some of the Chao in the process. This, rightfully so, completely pisses off Chaos, and in his anger he absorbs all 7 Chaos Emeralds to become this powerful monster that decimates the Knuckles tribe, to the point where only Knuckles is left as the sole survivor 3,000 years later. In a desperate attempt to stop the destruction, Tikal sacrifices herself to seal both Chaos and her spirit within the Master Emerald, saving countless lives in this one selfless act. And then Eggman comes along to fuck this all up for everyone.
I didn't see that coming!
But more on that in a second. The surviving echidnas fear the wrath of this beast for generations, leaving behind tablets and murals to avoid a future catastrophe, which may be why this tribe becomes so obsessed about guarding the Master Emerald from that point on. Now before we move on to future events, I want to cover the conceptions behind both Chaos and Tikal. We'd actually learned from sources outside the game like Sonic Channel and the Sonic Adventure Navigation Guide that Chaos used to be a Chao himself. Years of exposure to the Master Emerald mutated him into the form that we're familiar with, and he begins serving as the protector of the shrine itself and the other Chao that live there. Chao are still somewhat of a mystery in the overall Sonic lore, but these ancient creatures eventually live peacefully among humans, with the adventure games fleshing out an entire pet system for these things that honestly was so masterfully crafted to the point where Sonic Team doesn't want to even tread that ground again. So fingers crossed for Frontiers. But my personal theory is that they came from outer space thousands of years ago, somehow brought to Earth alongside the Chaos Emeralds and Master Emerald, origins that still haven't been covered in a Sonic game. But the closest evidence I have to back this up is their alien-like appearance and the constant references to Chao in space in the Adventure series. But continuity is not the greatest in this series, and I'm probably reaching. Anyway, Sonic Team wanted to bring in a new enemy for Sonic Adventure that would be separate from Eggman. And the reason he's a watery life form is because Sega wanted to flex with the Dreamcast's new technology, and challenge themselves with an enemy that couldn't be implemented before. Takashi Iizuka...
I was wondering about the reason why they actually changed the music. Like, was it because of Michael Jackson?
Oh shit.
Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Who would eventually become current head of Sonic Team, played a major role in the concept of Chaos at the time, getting a resounding yes from team lead Yuji Naka, who approved it on the spot. And this would lead to some really creative boss battles. Except this one.
Ah! He transformed again!
Man, no one ever cuts us any slack.
Ugh. It's not even that bad, you just have to do this one 3 times in Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles' story. They should have at least have Tails fight Eggman in the meantime, or something like that. Anyway, Tikal on the other hand would be created as part of Sonic Team's attempt to shed some light on Knuckles' ancestors, taking a huge influence from both Mayan and Incan culture to flesh out the civilization. They took trips to Central and South America for research, visiting the ruins of ancient cities such as Tikal, Machu Picchu, and Tulum to draw inspiration in what would become the Mystic Ruins. Tikal's name would be derived from the ancient Mayan city in current-day Guatemala of the same name, which translates to places of voices. Her father's name, Pachacamac, was shared with a city belonging to the Inca Empire. We would also see a lot of these cultural influences in the architecture of the level Lost World, which takes place inside the pyramid located in the Mystic Ruins, and I really like this touch. It gives the ancient Echidna tribe that sense of mystery and wonder, just like the Mayans and similar tribes that used to walk the Americas, and the rich culture we see left behind in the ruins to this day. So fast forward 3,000 years into the future, Eggman stumbles upon the tablets that the Knuckles tribe left behind, warning everyone of chaos sealed inside the Master Emerald, and just like a child in front of a big red do not push button, he decides to crack the Master Emerald open and release this ancient god, while Knuckles is just sitting there, knuckling.
Shut up!
I mean, Knuckles, this was your one job.
Shut up!
And you know, I was always so distracted by Chaos being released in this cutscene, I never noticed the spirit of Tikal floating off screen.
You stupid!
With that said, Tikal's spirit is actually your hint marker throughout the game, guiding the characters on the right path to the next key item or cutscene. You can't stop Chaos if you don't progress the story, right?
You gotta progress. Progress the story. Yeah, all them. Why today? All them numbers, yeah.
But seriously, having a legit story reason for hints presented like this is also a really nice touch. So Sonic and his friends go on their own unique adventures, mostly caused by either Eggman or Chaos, and once Eggman is defeated and the dust settles, an even more pissed off Chaos manages to track down all the emeralds and lays waste to Station Square in one of the greatest cutscenes in the Sonic series. This moment right here was iconic. Even as a kid, I knew Supersonic would be the one to put Chaos down, but this still managed to convey a deep sense of hopelessness. The damage was already done, lives already lost. The city you spend the entire game exploring, destroyed in an instant. The only thing to do now is to make sure he doesn't become a global threat. And in this moment, the guiding light we've seen the whole game reveals herself as Tikal to Sonic. I don't know about anyone else, but this blew my mind as a kid. It's pretty damn obvious, but for some reason I didn't think my hint marker was the girl we were seeing in the visions of the past this whole time. She pleads with Sonic that they have to find some way to seal Chaos back into the Master Emerald, and in both a really cool and heartwarming character moment, Sonic refuses and asks the real question, what good would that do? He understands Chaos's anger and even sounds empathetic to his pain in that moment, saying that if they sealed him away again, he'd just be even angrier. So with that, Sonic's friends brings the Chaos Emeralds to him, and he uses the power of positive emotions to transform into Super Sonic and neutralize Chaos's negativity. This is so cool. So after their fight, Chaos calms down a little bit, and in that moment of clarity, Tikal shows him the descendants of the Chao he used to watch over, explaining that they're in good hands in the present day, being cared for by the people he attempted to destroy. Life goes on, and the time for fighting is over. Tikal then force chokes Chaos and disappears into the sky.
You have failed me, Inquisitor. Surrender.
Okay, I'm just kidding, but I think this implies that they finally pass on to the other side. And I'll give Sonic Team this, for a completely silent antagonist that doesn't have a single line of dialogue in this game, I totally get Chaos. His original motto doesn't really change, but his first appearance in the game where he's staring down the police and about to fight Sonic, versus the ending where he's gazing toward the Chao's Station Square, have two completely different connotations, and somehow they were able to convey these emotions with an enemy that doesn't physically express emotions, so bravo. And as for the fate of Tikal and Chaos, it's heavily implied that they're both dead. At least, I think that was the original intention. In an old 2004 Q&A with Sonic that was hosted on Sega's site, a fan asked if Ray, Bean, Chaos, Knack, Tikal, and Bark would ever reappear, and Sonic dodged this question expertly, saying, actually, I don't know exactly where they are.
Never met this person, these people. I don't know who they are. I don't know who these people are.
So it sounds like Sega did not want to address that at all in that moment, but Chaos made one more appearance as a training partner in the 2004 GBA game Sonic Battle, toward the end of the game where Knuckles just comments on him standing there.
Menacingly!
In my opinion, I'm all for letting these two rest, but continuing to have them as non-canon appearances in future games would be pretty cool too. So before I move on to the comics, this story is indeed told in Sonic X as well. The anime adapted the story of Sonic Adventure while blending in several other original characters from the anime itself. There isn't much to say about this, as the story of Tikal and Chaos are more or less identical to the games, but I just want to acknowledge their appearance here. Tikal and Chaos have made appearances in two publications we should all be familiar with: Sonic the Comic, published by Fleetway, and the Archie Comics, which I've slowly grown to love. In the Fleetway comics, Tikal and Pachacamac are still part of the Echidna tribe, but this time we have a name for their enemies: the Draken Empire. The Draken are an alien race who in this comic managed to create the 7 Chaos Emeralds by taking over the emerald mines of the Echidnas, and by funneling their own energy source called Chaos Energy into them. During their ongoing war with the Draken, Pachacamac, and yeah, it's spelled a little bit different here in this comic for some reason. Anyway, Pac-Man steals the Chaos Emeralds from them, while Tikal will use them to bring Sonic from the future into her time period to help their tribe. And Sonic has the opportunity to meet Pachacamac, but not long after the Draken overrun their city. And during this battle, an energy beam clashes with the Chaos Emeralds, causing a Draken soldier who was imprisoned in a water-filled tank to be doused in Chaos Energy, therefore transforming him into Chaos. Kinda reminds me of the origins of Dr. Eggman in this sense, where like there was a rotten egg and Chaos Energy involved and this whole corruption. Not sure if that was meant to be a callback, but I'm getting similar vibes from this one. But for Chaos, this would be a completely different backstory here, and to protect Sonic from being killed by Chaos during this battle, Tikal and Pac-Man will send him back to the future where Robotnik has rediscovered Chaos. And much like the games, Robotnik doesn't have control of him very long, with Chaos hunting down all the Chaos Emeralds and transforming into perfect Chaos. Super Sonic, a completely different entity from Sonic in this continuity, arrives at the scene and drains Chaos of all his Chaos energy to recharge himself. And this reverts Chaos to his original Draken fish form, who is quickly discarded by Super Sonic. So with perfect Chaos defeated and this crazed Super Sonic on the loose, Sonic uses that opportunity to become a single being with him again. And if you're interested in learning more about this nightmare fuel, go ahead and check out my What is Supersonic video for a quick explanation. So, surprisingly, the Archie version of these backstories are a little more tame. Normally they tend to push the boundaries on plot lines here and there, but most of the story beats from Sonic Adventure remain intact. Tikal is still from hundreds of years in the past, from a particular warrior tribe of echidnas from an island country known as Albion. And this tribe would later be called the Knuckles Clan and would wander the world of Mobius to further colonize, until they reach a continent of Somerica, where they eventually settle in Pai Misterioso. And if that name sounds familiar to you, yes, this is the city where Big the Cat's tribe is from, the Felidae. I've done an origin oracle on him too, and I learned a lot of things that I did not know about Big. But hundreds of years before present, the Knuckles Clan and the Felidae began to war over this territory, which also involved a separate echidna clan that were well versed in the sciences, the Nocturnus Clan. And it would be a free-for-all over this territory among these three tribes, pushing Tikal to grow up in a rather unstable time. And while exploring the mystic ruins with Pachacamic, they would stumble upon a Chao garden as well as the 7 Chaos Emeralds and another mystical gem known as the Ancient Onyx. Just like in Sonic Adventure, Tikal would earn the trust of the Chao and the Guardian Chaos who protected them. But this war just continued to rage, and a desperate Pachacamic brought his warriors for a hostile takeover of the garden to utilize the Chaos Emeralds against the Felidae and Nocturnus Clan. This aggressive maneuver enranges Chaos and pushes him to utilize the Chaos Emeralds to wipe out the Knuckles Clan. And instead of the Master Emerald in this story arc, Tikal, along with 7 special Chao known as the 7 Servers, would seal Chaos into the Ancient Onyx, with Tikal spending the next few centuries keeping his anger in check. The other major difference here is that after she performs this act, the Servers would transform into the Super Emeralds, and would scatter across Mobius. So fast forward to the future, and the events of Sonic Adventure occur in the present similarly to the games, with Perfect Chaos destroying Station Square. This time, Tikal would use an ancient ritual to weaken Chaos and draw the Super Emeralds from within him to give to Sonic to transform into Super Sonic and finish the job. With Chaos's anger quelled, the 7 Super Emeralds transform back into their original Chao forms, and Tikal would return to the Ancient Onyx to rest alongside Chaos. This time, in peace.
Stop the cap.
Until Eggman reawakens Chaos again and merges him with Dr. Wily's Devil Core machine to create the Chaos Devil, which Sonic and Mega Man have to team up to take down to stop Eggman and Wily from rewriting their realities. Oh yeah, did I mention that Sonic and Mega Man had a crossover series in the Archie comic which led up to the whole moment where the entire story was retconned?
Cool.
And at the end of all of this, a Super Genesis wave occurs, which rewrites Sonic's universe into a reality that fits closer to the games, and this literal world-shattering event causes Tikal and Chaos to be released from the Master Emerald. Yeah, they're sealed in the Master Emerald in this reality. I hope I'm not confusing you guys. And while they don't play major roles in this arc after that, they both assist Sonic and the Freedom Fighters to return the shattered world to its restored state. And this would be the last arc we'd see in the Archie Comics before its cancellation. So despite everything we've covered in this video, a lot of it's pretty similar, which I'm kind of thankful for. I think that the story of Tikal and Chaos was told perfectly the first time around, and to see even the Archie Comics stick to the script on this, I'd say the writers agree with me on this. So my adults, that is the tragic origins of Tikal and Chaos. Would you like to see them again in another Sonic game, or should they just rest in peace like I mentioned in the video? Leave your comments and thoughts below, and if you like this, I have a ton more Origin Oracle videos that you can check out on my channel. And of course, if you're enjoying the content, please homing attack that like button and help me with my ongoing battle with the YouTube algorithm. I will see you next time, and as always, be safe. The Prophet has spoken.